Matthew.
Yeah?
You got 50 million?
What do you need it for?
I want to buy a chair. This Mission at Night? No bullshit business. Hi, welcome to another episode of Mission at Night. Here, we uncover the no bullshit stories from successful individuals and ignite your dream to success.
So joining us today is the mastermind behind some of the most ergonomic and game-changing designs in the world of chairs and tables, Joshua Chan. From turning his home into a makeshift warehouse to revolutionizing workspaces with ErgoTune and Everdesk, his entrepreneurial journey is nothing short of extraordinary.
So, get ready to hear about his bold ideas, big challenges, and even bigger comebacks as he inspired us to take our own leaps of faith. Hi, welcome to our show, Joshua.
Yo! Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Want to share to our audience out there, right? Who you are?
So I'm Joshua. About 6 years ago, I started this furniture company called ErgoTune and Everdesk. So yeah, 2 years ago, it got acquired, and now here we are.
So what are you doing now?
Pangkang mode lah.
It's not really pangkang.
Yeah, he was just telling us before this recording, right? He has a Zainan at home, okay?
Yes.
Yeah,
Which
so-
I totally don't believe.
Yes,
Yeah.
I've been nerding out. But yeah, I thought life would change dramatically after the acquisition. Funny story. I have a funny story on this. So the day that the money hit our bank, right? All of us were like, yeah, we freaking millionaires, right? And then we like, okay, we're gonna buy house, buy car, buy Rolex and stuff like that, right? Like money's not a problem. And then we're gonna eat good food every day.
And then what
So
happened?
the people that bought us, they brought us to this super expensive restaurant at City Hall, this Japanese restaurant, and it's those kind of place where the plate is huge, but the food is small. You know,
After that, you go back, you give me one.
After that, go to McDonald's
and
one
like
lah.
one plate is like $200. So to us coming out of that, we were drawing previously maybe like 2-3K a month. To suddenly like eating like $300 and you're not even full, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit crazy. But not we pay, so we kept ordering.
Yeah.
After that, me and my co-founders, after the dinner is done, we looked at each other and we were like, want to go get Macs? So the three of us went to the City Hall McDonald's and it was packed. Like, the City Hall McDonald's was packed. So we bought the food and then we sat outside McDonald's. And then we looked at each other and we were like, oh, we millionaires eh. But we're sitting outside McDonald's eating this.
Under the hot sun, right?
It was at night. At night. But that was when like we were recounting all the different challenges that we had and how we got there. And I think that feeling of gratitude and happiness at that point in time was what I'm looking for. And right now I'm trying to find things that can bring me that feeling again. You know, working together with a group of people that you go through challenges, quarrels, some good times, mostly bad times, and then you build something together. Yeah, so testing out a few ideas. Hopefully a couple of them can stick, and then I can get that feeling again.
So maybe for the viewers out there, how much were you all acquired for and how long did you all build the company for?
We built it for 4 years. We were acquired for 15 million. Yeah. But we gave a fair share of it to the employees. Especially those that believed in the 3 idiots that didn't know anything.
Three of you
about the start. Yeah, three of us. Yeah. So there were a couple of them that they could have gotten a way better job outside, right? And they chose to believe in the 3 uni grads that don't really know what they're doing. So we are really thankful for them.
So that's it. How did the 3 of you guys meet, right? And start off this whole company?
Oh, we met in poly. So we were poly friends. And all 3 of us went to the 3 different local U. So I'm from SMU. There's one from NUS and NTU. After we all graduated, we were like, let's try to build this business thing. So we tested a lot of stupid shit. If you want to get into the details,
Yes, please.
Great. What kind of stupid shit? We're like, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So lingerie or
no.
no.
So how we all started was the guy from NTU graduate in 3 years, SMU 4 years.
Right.
So he graduated first. And one fine day I was staying over at his place, and then he was like, I don't, bro, I learned accounting, bro. 10 years later, maybe I 6K a month, 7K a month, like how to survive in Singapore. Then he asked like, what do you like to do? Then I say, I like to teach. He say, what can you teach? Then I say, coding. Because back then I was learning in IS. So I got some notes here and there. I'm not the best coder in the world, but I kind of know a little bit more than the regular folks. So he's like, okay, how much can you lose without losing sleep at night? I was like, I'm like dead broke. So I was like, $500. Actually, $500 still a bit pinch, you know? Like, maybe my bank account maybe got like 3K. So like $500 still a bit painful. Then I was like, okay lah, $500. So we both put 1K in the bank. And then we built a website and then we marketed on Facebook. So he said, how much to charge? One course. Weekend cost $600, right? We're like, $600, like a bit expensive, eh? And they were like, no lah, now tech very hot. Back then they said, wow, tech very hot. Common got bill pay. So he ran the ads for 2 weeks. 2 weeks later, I met him, I remember at Serangoon Gardens having dinner. And then I asked like, hey bro, so how many people sign up? And he said, wow, 0 eh. I was like, what do we do? So how about half price? So we half price and then we marketed it. And across the 2 weeks, we got like 20 students. So if you do the math, that's about $6,000 across a weekend. So we minus 1K for the Facebook ads, 1K for the rental and all these things. We each person split 2K. So we were like, yeah, then I was like, wow, if I do this every weekend, that's 8K a month.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that's like better than if I graduate what I would be able to get. Right?
Yes.
So we continue doing it. Then we roped in one more of our poly friend because he does his own e-commerce business. The NUS one.
The NUS one.
Yeah. So he does his own e-com business. And I was like, why don't you come and teach like the Facebook ads and like Google ads and all. So he got into SkillsFuture and then that started to scale. So that was one of the funny business because it's by SkillsFuture, right? We all recognize that it's not really a real business because it's government funded. So we're always looking for other things. Or we're always looking to make money.
Okay.
And one fine day I have this friend that sells churros in Pasar Malam.
Okay.
And then she was telling me like, bro, Geylang Serai coming up. Then I hear the stories of Geylang Serai, right? There are people that open only 1 month for the whole year and they make like 200-300K from Geylang Serai.
Yeah.
Then I was like, how difficult can food be, right? So we rented a store. I think the rental was like 16 or 18K for 1 month.
For 1 month.
month.
For 1 month, yeah. And that's not even including like all the structures and all. So when you pay 18K, right, you get a piece of wood. And that's it. Yeah, you got nothing.
Then
So
the gas, water leh?
all you pay extra. So you pay extra here and there, and then so you build up the whole store, you build up the signboard and all these, and we started selling. Wow, that was the worst period of my life. Like I was there at like 11.
The worst 1 month, you mean?
Yeah, bro.
Like you're 200K, right?
That was like 3 years. Yeah. So we got there at 11. We left at like 4 a.m. And it was so bad because you are super tired. Then back then there was Uber.
Yep.
I still take Uber share, right? Cause like not enough money, so I take Uber share. And every time I take Uber share, right, after about 2 minutes, the driver will wind down the window. Cause I was so smelly. I was so smelly. Wow, I was just
Wait, but it was what, churros
smell. No, I was selling fries and this butterfly PT drink. So it has like 3 colors in the drink. Like in Geylang Serai, it's more of whether is it Instagrammable.
Wait, important question. 200K, right?
How much you make?
No, we broke even.
Only?
We broke even.
You don't get 200K?
No, like
20,
we didn't.
30,000
We won the popular ones. Back then it was the Rainbow Burger. I don't know whether you all remember. There was
Yes,
this
I heard
period-
of it. Yes.
They sold this Rainbow Burger. So the queue, there were like 4 stalls, right? One of the stalls is Rainbow Burger. They queue 1 round just for the Rainbow Burger.
okay.
Yeah, ours is the sometimes
By the
people.
way-
No, people. There was another stall that was selling fries. People didn't know which store, so they bought from us. Yeah, so that was when like I gave a lot of respect to the food people.
Right.
Yeah. So that was one of the funny things that we started until we stumbled upon ErgoTune and Everdesk. Yeah.
Why chairs? How did that happen?
So we were back then we finished Geylang Serai. So I was sitting in our incubator space. We have an incubator space at SMU. I was sitting there and then I was coding. And by then, all my friends graduated already. We were from IS, ma. So all my friends were drawing maybe like 7 to 8K starting pay. And then I was there. I don't know what am I doing. I'm just questioning life. Like, did I choose the wrong path? Because I could have easily went to your banks or your tech firms and be
And
drawing
got
that.
7, 8K.
Yeah, and be like, okay, right? But here I am struggling to find new students to learn coding where I am like not that good at it. So I was seriously questioning life. And me with my co-founders, we were all just building the education company. So one of my co-founder, the guy from NUS, he's very into the whole productivity thing. So he wanted to buy a standing desk. But he also broke lah, right? So he went to email, because back then standing desk wasn't a thing. So he went to email big company, say he wanted to buy a standing desk. And back and forth, the email for him to get a quote was like 3 days. And it came up to like 1,008. And he was like, bro, I think this one can sell. So imagine me at that point in time, I had no money. I'm still questioning whether or not this entrepreneurship thing, is it the right thing to do? And then my friend come here and tell me that he want to sell this table that people stand up to work instead of sit down to work. Like, I'm like, bro, that sounds stupid. And like, firstly, we got no money. Secondly, we never sell like big items before. Like, where are we gonna store it, right?
Yeah.
And then I told him like, let's fucking go ah.
So how do you do it? Yeah.
So I think back then my mentality was we were throwing shit on the wall, right? We were trying to see which one sticks. Yeah, we didn't have a passion for an industry, but we wanted to build something, right? Whatever it is, right? We want to feel that sense of accomplishment of building something. So this is essentially us throwing shit on the wall lah. So what we did was we built a website, which I'm from IS ma, so I know how to build website. So I built a website, but I don't have images. So I went to the US website that was selling standing desks. I stole their images and I put it on my website. So I built this thing where if you've been to Everdesk website, you'll see you can choose the color of the tabletop and it will change on the actual picture. So that we were the first ones to build it in Singapore. So people can visualize what the product they are gonna get lah. So we built that and we bought Google Ads. So from our analysis from Google Ads only, it was 6,000. There were 6,000 searches back then in a month. So in our simple mind is 6,000 searches, 600 people click in, 60 people buy. One table.
10%.
Yeah.
Okay.
Naive, bro. Naive. So naive.
So naive.
Yeah, if only I got 10% conversion rate now, I'll be a freaking billionaire. But like, it doesn't happen, right? So, but in our simple head was, 60 people buy, that's okay.
Not bad, wow.
Yeah,
Not
60
bad.
people buy.
Yeah.
Let's say one table, net, we earn $500. So that's what? 60 times 500, 60, 30K? 30K a month? Sounds decent.
Decent enough.
30K sounds like 10K a month, 10K each.
Each month,
10K each. But that's revenue. But we're like, okay, let's go, right? So we bought ads. And if you notice at this point of the story, I haven't tell you about us buying the goods yet.
Yes.
Because we are very poor and we have no money. So the cost price of each table is like a few $100, right? The MOQ is maybe 200, 300.
Right.
It adds up to like $10 over $1,000, right? I don't have money to buy this stuff. And where do I store it? So we just launched the website first. We didn't even say it was pre-order. We launched the website and then we just prayed.
You just pray.
We just pray. We say we were very vague on the delivery details and all, right?
Okay.
But in the first week we got 20 sales.
Wow.
In the first week we got 20
That's not
sales.
bad, right?
Yeah. So it was a proof of idea, right? The proof of concept. So, but we called each one and we told them like, hey, sorry, the sale went too well. Could you wait 2 months? If you wait 2 months, we'll give you a $50 discount. If not, we'll fully refund your money. So some of them refunded, some of them didn't. But what's most important is we tested our idea on actual paying customers, not our friends, not our families, like actual people that were actually paying. We didn't know what we were doing back then, but we essentially validated the idea before we sunk money in.
Right.
Which I think it's a big lesson for a lot of people. They think that the
Product needs to be up first.
yeah, you think that the product needs to be up first, but when your cash is stuck in assets, right, you are dead. It's not SGD anymore. It's like your piece of t-shirt. Like where are you gonna sell this, right?
Yes.
So validating that idea is to me is a very safe play. So we validated the idea. We took that pre-order money to buy the goods. Yeah. So that was how we rode into where we are today.
So I'm curious, right? Which god do you pray to? Is he pray very hard?
I pray to the god of Twitter.
The god of Twitter.
God of Twitter. Bro.
So make sure you all go and find the god of Twitter. Okay?
Yeah. So that was one of the lucky breaks. We weren't so smart about it. It was more of circumstantial. We didn't have money, but we wanted to test.
So you took what? So you took money from the pre-orders to go and buy the 200 MOQ.
Yeah.
But are you still able to break even or?
Yeah, because if you think about a product business, let's say the cost of goods sold is maybe 50% of your margins. If it's 200 table, you essentially only need to sell 100. Right, to break even. Yeah. So that was how we thought about it. Yeah. And when we ship to my house.
To your house?
Yeah, my house was the first warehouse. Yeah. So my parents and I cleared out one room and then we put everything inside. So all the pre-orders were shipped out from my house.
Oh, it's very interesting. So ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Proof of concept is very important. Look at this. A great statement to this, man. A total understanding of how a proof of concept should work.
Yeah. There's more people that probably bought stuff and then it just got stuck, right? So it is because you have no money, you need to find ways to stretch your dollar.
Yes.
Yeah, like now things turn out well. If things didn't turn out well, what was the cost that I have lost? It's only my time to build a website and some ad spend on Google, right? Which is a lot smaller compared to the amount that you need to like
Pump
into the assets. Yeah.
So now share with us, right? After that, what's next? How do you move out from the room in your house to a proper office space or storage space?
Right. So remember I have a business teaching coding.
Yes.
And I have this thing where we sell tables, right? So we are like, why not we rent the industrial space and then we carve out a classroom? Because for the classroom we are renting, it was maybe about 1K per class.
Okay.
And the rental of the industrial base is like 4K. So 4 classes I break even, right?
Yes.
So in my head, okay, so this business can fund the rental. We'll use that space, we'll cover a warehouse, we'll have a showroom. So when people come for class, they'll walk past the showroom, they'll need to see the products and then they'll go to the classroom. They'll see the teacher using it, they can use the products and all, right?
So you killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Yeah, that was your beautiful thinking, right?
Yeah.
None of my students bought. Kosong. Yeah, absolute zero. Yeah. Zero, bro. The target audience is entirely different. Yeah, so nobody bought it, but that was how we finally have a space to have goods that we can store. Yeah, and a showroom where people can see. And for I think for a good 2-3 years, whenever customers come in, cause it's industrial, right? It doesn't look nice. It's not your Herman Miller in your Marina Square. Right? It's some car park, and then you open the door, you don't know whether the right place, you'll get kidnapped or not. So we always tell our customers that we are undergoing renovation. Yeah, for 3 years we are. Yeah. It's just we can't see ourselves sinking money into retail. Yeah, because we are mainly good at online.
So how did the acquisition started then?
So my senior from SMU called me out of the blue one day, and that was during probably when COVID was tailing down, and the business was doing very well, right? Because of COVID, there was a huge macro pull up for standing desks. Yeah, work from home and all. So my senior called me, and when he called me, firstly I don't have his number. I don't know why I picked up, but then I picked up. And then he's like, hey bro, wow, you want to meet up a coffee or not? I'm like, oh, he confirmed selling something. He confirmed selling something. Then I was like, no.
Well, I mean, he did. He sold you a future.
Yeah. So I was like, no, I'm quite busy nowadays. And he said,
Right.
oh, you started ErgoTune, right? And I said, yeah. So he was telling me that his business is in the business of buying e-commerce businesses. And I was like, oh, interesting. What's your usual ticket size? And he said, 1 million. I was like, oh, I think we are too big for you lah. Maybe next time. Okay, bye. Then I cut. So I hung up the call on him. It wasn't a power play because I was really busy. Like I was like all over the place trying to like keep the business like in check, right?
Trying to find the lock to the chair.
Yeah. I was meeting warehouse, supplier, make sure everything. Just a lot of things on my mind. And then I went back to the office and I was telling my co-founders about it. And my co-founders, firstly, I never heard of this business before. Right? And my co-founders were like, bro, it's a real business. Then I'm like, oh, really? So they're telling me about it. And luckily, he called back and he said the founders want to meet us. So we went through that whole process and then got a nice...
How long did it take?
From we first met to the actual acquisition, to money hit our bank is probably 3 to 4 months.
Wow, that was very
quite
fast. That's very
fast.
fast.
Because they wanted to...
They wanted
we
fast,
wanted to push for it because it's either you go ahead or don't distract us from Q4. Yeah, like Q4 is where we make our money,
Most,
right?
okay.
Like I don't want... If the founders are distracted on the acquisition or is a lot of money is on the table, right?
Yep.
So we were telling them that okay, it's either you go ahead before Q4 start. If not, like talk to us after Q4.
Okay.
So they wanted to push that forward lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very fast. Yeah.
That's actually, wow, that's a very, very good deal that you guys got.
Yeah. Well, I would say 70% is also luck lah. Yeah. We were in the... We worked well and we spread our what we call the surface area of luck, right? So when it actually hits, we were there to catch it lah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to pull you out from the company. I talk about you as a personal aspect, okay?
Right.
How you juggle? Because you know you are totally overwhelmed,
Yeah.
right? And as a founder, most of you guys are usually overwhelmed to trying to keep the company afloat, right? So I'm gonna talk about 2 aspects now. The first aspect is financially,
Right.
right? How do you juggle financially? Because you did mention that you can't. When you are starting up in Geylang Serai, you're taking a Uber share, things like that, right? How tough was it?
I think if you think back on your days as a student, how much money do you actually spend?
Yeah.
I didn't get out of that phase for 4 years. That's the only difference, right? I didn't experience what it feels like to have a car or a house or go to restaurants and party all the time, right? I didn't... That wasn't a lifestyle that I know. Right, I was very okay with taking bus, MRT, eating hawker, and doing that consistently. So it didn't feel like I was sacrificing or anything. And more importantly, if you feel that you are building something that has a purpose, whatever that purpose look like to you, right? Some people want to build something, some people want to build with other people. That was the only thing that I was thinking about. I didn't have time to think about let's go party, let's go
But would you
restaurant.
feel imbalanced? Because I think your peers have been 4 years.
Yeah.
Right? They'll say, hey, actually I'm doing this, recently I just got a car, I just had a nice watch, I just went out for dates with my girlfriend. Would you feel imbalanced then?
Depends on how busy you are, I think. I think if you are busy enough, you don't have the time to think about all this. And also...
Plus it was COVID lah, cannot go out ma.
No, prior to that, they were already earning a lot. My peers are all in tech. Like they are the 5-digit people very early in their career. But I never saw the draw of the luxury stuff, the nicer things in life. That's not really... So I couldn't understand. I belong to the camp of like, why you spend 20K on the watch. Like I don't understand. Like still tell time, right? I had never reached the transcendent stage of it tells a story and pass on to my next gen. I'm like, fuck, my kid is gonna work for his own freaking watch. Why is it me? Like, I want to enjoy the money. Why I give it that kind of thing? So I've never reached that stage. But yeah, I think when you are too free, you will then have a lot of time to compare. But when you are busy building, you don't have that headspace to go and compare. You just focus on you and the problem that is now. Right? Like my friend buy a watch. Wow, that's great. But my supplier tell me that the stock's delayed.
You don't solve that problem.
I solve that problem rather than worry about your freaking watch, right? There is no help in my life by worrying about that. Yeah.
Then what about time management then? Because I think you say you're so busy, right? You have no head space, right, to care about the watch. How do you even manage that? Because there's no like me time, there's no proper time for you to go and think properly or work on a certain future. You're just firefighting on a day-to-day basis almost.
I think in the stage of if you started a company, you go through different stages. And I would say by the middle to later stage of my career, my job is more of... My team's job is to ensure that we are growing maybe 5-10%. My job is to figure out what is the next 5x. So then the firefighting is not really there. It's more of aligning the team on why this is priority. What are the things to deprioritize? Which I think as an entrepreneur, that's what most people should be doing, is to kind of figure out what is not that important. So look at Elon Musk, right? Our favorite entrepreneur. Right? He fired 80% of Twitter. Why did he ship more products? Why did it do more revenue than before? Right? Like, how many things were deprioritized within the company that is obviously not that important if those metrics that he optimizes for is the right metrics lah. Right? So when a company scales, there is bound to be fats, right? It's your job to ensure that
the fats are trimmed.
How do you want to get people to focus on what is more important than just firefighting?
Right. So I'm curious here, the three of you guys, how do you all split the roles?
There are main departments under each, but we kind of grew into that role. So my NUS guy, he was the marketing and marketing/product. I'm ops, tech, customer service. Then the NTU guy is on accounting, corporate sales, HR. Yeah, but it's more of... It's very funny because when people ask us how we split, it's more at that point in time when we needed that role, who is free? Who is free? Yeah,
it's not who's better.
It's who is free. Like, it's just, you free. Hey, you go handle, you go help us hire. And then suddenly you become HR. Like
tapao food, right? Hey, you free to tapao food.
Yeah. So there is no real just because you had expertise in it, because we were experts on nothing, right? We're fresh grad. But our belief is that everything can be learned. Yeah,
but is there like a form of like inclination?
Nah.
Yeah.
Then you can't be inclined towards all functions. Some are just whether or not is it important to the company. Yeah. Like everything feels like everything is important within a function, right? But if you really, really think about it, getting customers
is the most
important.
Right.
Everything else is a supporting function of that. Right? So how do you get customers? Product is very important, right? Then you need to work on those two things lah. So your whole obsession is on trying to acquire customers, and how do you build a company that can consistently acquire customers? Yeah, and that is where your branding comes in, your customer service comes in, how people talk about you, your ops, whether they deliver fast enough, like all those kind of things just comes in to help you to acquire customers. Right. Yeah.
So I think one of the conversations that we had, you mentioned there was your North Star matrix, right? Maybe you can share in your process of building the company, what were your North Star matrix? And share a little bit on matrices.
Yeah, I think the way when people think about matrix is choosing the right matrix is critical, right? Because if you choose wrongly, people optimize for the wrong things. So for most VC funded tech startups, for example, they chose.
And to be clear, y'all were not VC
we are
funded,
not VC
right?
funded,
You
yeah.
were all
we
bootstrapped
are
all the
bootstrapped.
way. Okay.
Yeah. It's a funny story, but like we tried to raise. Nobody want to invest.
Except for the guy you turned down.
No, they wanted to buy over, which is very different from investing. Yeah. So they wanted to buy the whole thing over. But yeah, we tried to raise, but like nobody want to invest. But anyway. So
Wait, now that you say that, then I'm curious, why do you think so?
I have a few theories. One is at a point in time, there wasn't traction in investing in product companies. Like the returns on a product company cannot justify.
Product means
The investment
reselling.
No. Like launching physical products.
Okay.
Because the hype was on your technological startups, right? You can get 100 to 100x on your return on investment. But for products is generally very different. There were a few companies that does product that scaled to IPO that didn't perform to investors' expectation.
Okay.
So you can be a very good bootstrap company that pays very well within, but once you need to pay investors, the whole financial economics will change.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was our belief. Second, we were profitable. So
They see any urgent need to do it anyway, right?
yeah. So I'm not very good at the VC world. But my understanding is if you are profitable, why do you need investment, right? To from their perspective. Right? They are there to kind of, you need to hyper growth as fast as possible or die. Like it's
either or, spectrum.
Yeah.
Right.
But we like the safe, continuous growth, last for 10, 20 years type of mentality. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so back to North Star Matrix.
Yes. So choosing your North Star Matrix is important. So let's say, just now we were talking about weight loss, right? So let's talk about weight loss.
So ladies and gentlemen, before this whole thing started, we were talking about how weight affects, right? How we look in front of the camera.
Yes.
That's why weight loss.
So everybody can see he looks great, right? On camera. Wow.
He looks a bit more.
A bit chubbier.
Thanks.
So let's talk about weight loss. If you think about, if your North Star is your actual weight versus your North Star is body fat percentage, how will your training be different? Right? So if your North Star is just your weight, right? You can starve, right? You can don't eat, you just drink water, just eat like grass and like you will lose your weight.
Yep.
How will you look? Is that the look that you want? Versus if you want to optimize for body fat percentage, you need to eat enough protein, that you need to keep your nutrition in check, you need to do strength training, cardio, all that kind of thing to just reduce fats, maintain muscle. That's why choosing your North Star becomes critical to change the behavior of your whole team.
Right.
So take a company, for example. We like to say that revenue is vanity. The same as when you have your social media, followers are vanity, right? What is it that is really important is, let's say for social media, is your engagement, right? You can have 1,000 followers, but like 100% engagement versus 1 million followers with like 0.1% engagement. Like which is a matrix that really matter. So in a company, overall, on a high level, we focus on EBITDA. EBITDA means your net profit, essentially.
Yeah.
So EBITDA is important because we want to keep revenue high and we want to keep costs low. And every function plays a part in keeping this North Star matrix as high as possible. Right? So now, even your operations, your customer service, everybody is now responsible for your North Star, the company's North Star. And each function will then have their own North Star. Right? So how will my North Star contribute to the overall company's North Star? Right? Then the whole team will be built along that. So then that ties everything together. Well, sometimes I think as an employee in a smaller function, you don't feel that you're contributing to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
But once I can tie your performance to my North Star of the company, now you can see the impact that you're making. And more importantly, I can financially incentivize you to perform at your whatever level that you are.
Yeah.
Right? Because all these things helps with my North Star. Yeah. So that's how we think about it. Yeah.
So one of the interesting things that Joshua mentioned also, he incentivized the ops, right? For keeping costs low.
Yes. So ops is always second thought, right? Cost center. You just need to deliver to the customer. Like you don't provide any value. But if you keep thinking like this, then you are just delivering.
Yes.
But if you tell your team, like you in a company, if the person that is only bringing in the revenue gets to earn the big bucks, and everybody will just always be fighting against them because of I didn't join that function. I am not part of it. I don't get.
It's not my role.
Yeah, it's not my role and all those things, right? But now if I tell you, last month we spent 10% on ops, right? You drop it down to 2%. The remaining I give you. The savings I give you, right? I give you a bit. And the company save, you also make money.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ways. If you save money, you can also be incentivized.
Yes.
If you bring in more money, you also can be incentivized. Everybody can be financially incentivized. It's just whether or not the founders want to do it or not.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. So it just requires a little bit more thinking on how do you motivate your guys lah. And once again, I don't think that financials are the reasons why people stay in a company, right? In fact, I think it's like second or third reason. There was a period where people kept leaving, and for a small company, when people leave, right, it's brutal. It's brutal because you spend 3 months teaching, and then they leave, and not like I have influx of candidates. I want to work for a chair company, right? No, I don't. Right? So
is it because your chair too uncomfortable?
No.
Or the table not
maybe they
enough.
come in because we give all our employees our product.
Oh, they take one back.
They take one back.
Okay.
Maybe they come in, they take that it's out.
Instead of paying for it, they get paid for it.
Yeah. So we so I was reading up a lot on how do we keep a company, and a lot of the leading research seems to fall back to having one friend.
One friend.
One friend. Does your team, everybody in your company have that one friend that they can turn to?
Okay.
Yeah, and which is beautiful and sad at the same time, right? It's so easy to keep people. You just need them to connect on an emotional level with another person. It's so sad because people actually a lot of times don't find friends in work.
Yes. Well, today is work, personal life, personal life.
Yeah. And it's a cultural problem, right? How do you as a company help to foster these relationships? Sometimes it's luck also. You have one key person that is rah, right? Hey, lunchtime, come everybody, let's go. You need that one person. Or how do you build in these type of interactions, so that they get to have the right environment to make friends, right? If you don't have a dining table where everybody can eat together, everybody eat at that desk, right? It's just small little things that you think about when you want to build, foster relationships within people. Yeah. So then when we figured that part out, we paid a little bit more attention to who is attached to this person, how can they build friendships around it.
So what's one strategy or tactic that you did?
You tie this is your
Friend.
so let's say you're new,
Okay.
right? I will say, okay, Josh, you go and bring him this week, bring him for lunch every day. My treat.
Okay.
Yeah, just go. Yeah. And now you're like, oh fuck, 花老板的钱 where where
$200 per plate. $200 per plate.
Yeah. So then you get to foster that. Of course, there are a lot of other things, right?
Yeah.
But you also, as you get older, you kind of realize people don't stay in a company because of the money anymore. Yeah. And when they jump, because you hear people jump because there's a 20% pay bump, you're like, makes sense. You don't hear people that when they stay, although there is a 20%, but they choose to stay. You will figure out why they stay.
Yeah.
Right? Why do they feel safe? Why do they want to stay? And you kind of look from the other perspective to try and build that into your company.
So here's the question, because you did mention at the very start of this whole interview, right, that you were thankful those people, right, who entrust the 3 idiots, right? The whole company. You mentioned this whole line exactly.
Yeah.
So what do you think your staff said? Those staff that has so much trust in all of you guys.
So our core team has 7 of us, which is the time that I miss the most when building. The 7 of us knew everybody's families. They are all their life events. When they propose, how did they think about the ring, where they propose, the wedding, until now where they have like 2 kids, right? Like we knew everybody to the core. And it when you get to work together physically, it just fosters more of that.
Yeah.
And especially when it's small. If it's like 300 over people, then like you need to engineer this, right?
Yeah.
But when it's like 5-6 people, I know exactly what you're doing. There's no need to hide.
Yeah.
Like you slack means you slack, right? Then I'll be like, hey bro, go so I think that builds that trust. And more importantly, because you are small, the small little goals that you achieve is like all of you all did that together, right? Like we went from selling 1 table a day, and when one day we sold 3, right, whole company celebrate. To a point where like when you hit $1 million a month, there was no excitement. Like there was not like, oh yeah, we hit $1 million. There wasn't, because it became you get adjusted.
Yeah.
To it, right? But when you're small, every small thing that came your way, a good review, everybody celebrate, right?
Yeah.
A returning customer, everybody celebrate. Some organic influencer buy themselves and then post about it.
Okay.
Like everybody celebrate, and like the smallest wins feels like the biggest thing to you. And when you get to share that together with a team, I think that bond is very difficult to break. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I'm curious, because you sold off, right, at the company as a high, right? If you didn't sold off then, what do you think is become the company now?
We would probably have to adjust to the post-COVID demand and do more category expansion. My sensing is that in this region, your Southeast Asia region, when you think about products, you cannot have a hero product only. But if you're in the US, right, one hero product can bring you to 9 figures if you choose the right category. But in Singapore or in Southeast Asia, my sense is better to launch different categories, because the market size is just smaller. And even in Southeast Asia, we talk about Southeast Asia as very generic, right? Oh, Southeast Asia, we group them together. Southeast Asia, nothing is connected, bro.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, nothing is connected. So every time you enter a new country, it's a whole damn team of resources to like just make it work.
Have you all tried?
Yeah, we didn't try in Southeast Asia. We tried in Australia. Yeah. So like that's why in the US it works, because when you enter, it's like 300 million people.
Yes, it's a huge market.
Logistically connected.
Yeah.
Right? And like everything is supported with each other. But in Southeast Asia, you can more difficult.
It's like a fresh start everywhere you go.
Yeah. So what I'll do is more category expansion. And choosing the right categories to expand.
So it means to cross-sell to the same target market.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. That's one of the biggest costs in product companies, acquisition costs, right? Because we pay Mark Zuckerberg, right? So instead of you essentially, when you increase your category, you are trying to not pay Mark Zuckerberg by email targeting or retargeting your previous customers who loves your brand, who understands what you stand for, and they will be open to trying out the other products that you have. Yeah.
So in case, gentlemen, you guys are wondering why is he paying Mark Zuckerberg, it's all the Facebook ads that he's paying for.
Instagram ads, you know.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So back to you on a personal note, right? I mean, it's shack, as you mentioned. Every day you wake up, at the start, no money. At the end, all right, okay, not even at the end, the middle part, right? You have no time.
Yeah.
Any point in time, right, you actually felt like, okay, you did mention at the start that actually you have been questioning, right? But at the time when ErgoTune, do you even question whether or not should you continue or should you just stop and move out from it?
There was one very defining moment, I think, that changed the company. So I think it was probably about 6 months into selling Everdesk first. We had a corporate order, and corporate order to us is like a huge thing, right? Because deliver one and then you got a lot. Like it's not even a lot. It's maybe like 15 tables.
But it's a bulk order lah.
But it's a bulk order.
Uh-huh.
So, but the client wanted it like fast. Our tabletop supplier is in Malaysia, and we shared with them, and they said they can produce by that time, but they don't have enough time to deliver to Singapore. So 15 tables on the line, right? To us is remember we were doing one table a day,
Yeah.
15 tables is like half a month already, right? So we're like, okay, me and my co-founder said like, okay, we drive there. We drive to, I think it was near KL.
We using what to carry back the tables?
A normal car. Yeah, so we
Carry
lower,
back 15 tables.
the tabletop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we slot
But
in.
it's-
3 or 4
Yeah.
tabletops per car lah.
Yes. So me and my co-founder drove there. Then we drove. I think we at 11 we started driving. We went there. Then we brought it back. Managed to hit the roughly evening lah. So we're having dinner, and then my other co-founder texted us, said that there's a new competitor that came in, which is Omnidesk, right? We respect those guys. Like we actually met them after the acquisition, but so Omnidesk launched, and back then we were all over the place, right? We were doing all events. We are getting chiros to help us to sell, physios to help us to sell. We were just all over the place trying to make any money that can be found.
Yeah.
Right. But we were trying so hard, but revenue was stagnating. What's the common argument is that there's no product market fit lah. Nobody wants to stand up to work. Right? That was what we believed. So when we were in Malaysia, we received that news that our competitor launched that product, and to us they're probably gonna die lah, same as us lah, right? Just stagnating around here, like we always say 吃不饱饿不死, just surviving. And the funny thing is, a month later, we went to check on our search volume, and then we went to check on theirs. Their search volume was not only more than us, their search volume was more than the category.
Wow.
Like the standing desk category. So more people were searching their brand than actually searching for standing desk. That was when we realized that we are the problem. Like, we are not good enough. Like, we are focusing on the wrong thing, which led us to where we are. So what we decided was, we fuck everything, clear everything out.
Okay.
We just focus on Facebook ads. Like, be very good at that. And what does very good mean? What does the top 1-2% of the people do when they think about like marketing on Facebook? And that was what changed the whole company. Everything that is not on acquiring customers, we outsource.
Wow.
So all resources were there. But that was learned from our competitor. Our competitor showed us that like, it is a skill issue. It is you not knowing what to focus on. You don't know what your priorities are. You don't know what has the biggest lift, right? And as we went down that rabbit hole of choosing a channel that you can find product market fit with, and then doubling down on that, right? That was when we really started to grow the brand. Yeah. So that was how we came up. Our competitor taught us.
I mean, that's powerful, right? Because I think without a competitor, you will have just been stagnant all the way.
Yes.
That competitor gave you an additional boost, I would say, right? In changing your whole strategy.
They taught us what focus is. Yeah. And yeah.
So maybe you can explain a little bit, because I'm not sure whether the viewers could catch the relevance. Like, what do you mean by what lessons did they bring you? Yeah.
So
like looking at them, searching for Omnidesk, right? Instead of standing desk, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So what did that teach you exactly?
Right. So we have been in the business for probably a year more than them.
For standing desk.
Okay. Right. And when they launched, they were doing presumably a lot better than us. So what that taught us is they were doing something right that we weren't. Right. They were spending time and resources on things that we weren't doing. So we had to go and figure out what were they doing a lot better than us. And that was when we learned that it's primarily knowing how to acquire customers through social media. Yeah. Yeah, because it's very easy to be distracted, right? Like you want to sell standing desk, a chiropractor come to you, say, hey, you put your products with me, I can help you sell, right?
Because these people have back problems, etc.
Might seem like a very simple ask, right? Doesn't take me very long to figure this part out, but it takes up headspace. Will you say no to these people if you're starting out? You need to dare to say no, that like, sorry, we don't have the capacity at this point in time to think about it. Because you don't take into account the amount of mental headspace that you need in order to service
that one channel.
Yeah, that one channel, right? HPB come to you, say, oh, we're doing some wellness event, right? You can go and set up booth. How many people you plan for the logistics, going down there, wasting one day, maybe getting no sales at all, and then bringing everything back? You waste your cost of goods sold, resources and everything, when they should be focusing on that one channel, right? So you take all these things accumulated, it takes out a lot of the company's time. You're just all over the place. Yeah.
That's very wise advice.
Yeah, okay. By the way, in case you guys are wondering why I had a stun, because I was reflecting, right, on all the words that Joshua has mentioned, right? But I think most is very hold true to a lot of entrepreneurs. To them is they see an opportunity, they will dive
jump
in.
Yeah.
Right? And they'll dive in with no question asked because it's an opportunity given.
Yep.
But for you to be so focused, it means that there's a certain opportunity cost lost.
Yep.
Right? And you're willing to take that up.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of entrepreneurship, or rather a lot of entrepreneurs themselves, right, are not willing to sacrifice that.
Yes.
So my question here is, which decision is the correct decision to make?
My bias is, it is always better to focus on one. Yeah. And I think a lot of us have tried to have multiple goals, right, in life, right? Sometimes all at once. How many times have you actually achieved all of them all at one go? Right? We've tested this idea multiple times to know that this is not the right way. So why do we continue to dream about it being like possible? Right? Like there is limited time, limited resources, energy that you need to spend on, which is essentially what an entrepreneur is supposed to do, right? You're supposed to choose where to invest your resources, right? And that includes your mental headspace and the money that you earn from the business, right? And if you don't choose well, it is an immediate feedback into your company. Yeah. So I think that's where most people should think about. And I don't blame a lot of entrepreneurs, right? If you surviving on week-to-week paychecks, right? An opportunity come for you to earn, you will take it lah. But if you are breaking even for like 6 months, you need to see whether is something wrong, whether is the business not a good fit, or like you cannot find product market fit, or like you're just focusing on the wrong channel. And we were lucky because the competitors showed us that like we were in the right business. We just didn't know how to execute. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Lessons.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a very, very powerful lesson.
Yeah.
Very powerful lesson. So back to human then, right? Who are those people who supported you during this whole time, other than the 7 of you guys and staff? Are there any external people that support you guys?
Yeah, it's very bad of us, but like I have never visited my supplier.
Oh.
Yeah, cause
other than the trip to KL to take that tabletop.
the China supplier.
Oh, Chinese.
The China supplier.
Right.
Which we felt very bad. Because when we wanted to go, COVID hit. And then by the time we left COVID, we got quiet.
Yeah.
So the suppliers are one of the key people that can make or break your business. Like, they like to talk about China being everything is about relationships, right?感情, right?
Yep.
Like, I don't think it's just China. Like, everywhere it's about
It's relationship.
Yeah, when you have a better relationship with anybody that you're working with, and not on a business to business, like you actually see their point of view. You actually find ways where it's a win-win. It's not like a I win, you lose. You believe that the pie is infinite. That we can all take a slice out of it, versus you believe that the pie is limited and it's either I win, you lose, or you win, I lose, right? Yeah. Then the game and conversations becomes very different. Right? Like when I talk to my suppliers, right? So a common thing in ops is everybody look at the cost of the product. Cost of product is very difficult to change, right? Because the guy that you're speaking to, he answers to like 6 other bosses on top of him, right? How can you help him, right? I take this same cost, but can you produce but keep at your place?
Yep.
Right? Financially, where do I save? I ship to Singapore, the storage cost in Singapore, as long as it nets out, I still save what?
Yeah.
Right? I reduce my production lead time from 60 days to like just the shipment, right? I also win. So there are ways where it is non-financial to kind of figure out a win-win with people. It's just whether people want to spend the time and effort
to think about it.
To think about it. And how do you get this out of it? You need to make friends with them.
Yep.
You need to build some relationship with them, and not in a very like malicious way, like, okay, I'm building relationship with you just because like I want to like freaking like eat you up later. No, it's everybody is interesting in their own ways, right? You just need to spend the time to kind of get to know them as people. And I think when we work this way, when the whole company is like this, then when they go out and speak to people, it's just the same. Like you are just there to like make a friend. And if we can do a deal, you win, I win, then it's good.
So on this aspect, I'm curious, how do you choose a good supplier then?
Oh, our supplier is luck. Like, when I say 70% of where I am today is luck, right? It's not just on the acquisition. It's not just on COVID. It's on meeting my initial team, pure luck. Meeting the right supplier that is willing to supply me small MOQ when I'm small, and when bigger MOQ, they were willing to like negotiate the price with me and help me to push shipment forward during COVID. Like all these were luck. I didn't have any special formula to like got them. But I would say that when you're choosing a supplier, the small ones are more willing to work and change with you.
Flexible.
Yeah, be more flexible. But they you will not get the quality of the bigger ones.
Right.
So there will be a shift unless they can keep up with your growth.
Yeah. So second question here, how do you build a relationship then? Because you don't even see them, you don't even visit them.
When we call them on WeChat.
So a lot of WeChat conversations.
Text them. I think if you only text them because of business, then they'll only talk to you because of business. If you video call them and they have a kid behind, then like, hey, talk about the kid. How are you? Like, how's the kid? You can send stuff to their house, like just out of the blue. Like,
and do you do that?
Of course. We do that with our customers also.
Yep.
Right? Like, how many people do that? Okay, a lot of insurance agent does it, right? How many product companies will send you products that is not theirs just because because you were nice to us. Right? So this was one of the policies in ErgoTune. Like every customer service agent has like $2,000 a month to buy stuff for any customer. Buy anything for any customer.
Nice.
Who does that? Nobody. Right? But what are you banging on? You're banging on that when nice people treat you well, you assume that they are fans of the brand.
Yes.
Right? And when you do stuff for them, they are even bigger fans.
Yeah.
Right? And that financially reduces your acquisition cost. More difficult to measure, but if you think of people as people, then this is what I would hope that other brands do it. Yeah. And when you start your own company, you can actually do such things. Right? You can actually do crazy things that other people think is ridiculous. But as a consumer, it doesn't feel ridiculous. It feels like it's quite nice. Yeah.
Yes, it's pleasant. All of a sudden, I'll surely remember and recall.
Yeah, for sure. And if you buy something that is like visible, when their friends come over, you think they won't talk about it?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
It's crazy how low the bar is on customer service in Singapore. Like it's crazy. Like it doesn't take a lot to just be more human towards people. That's what I think.
Right. So on that same human topic, how important is networking to you?
I never network. Which is a lot of missed opportunity. By the way, because I'm a nerd, right? I like to stay at home, press my buttons, and like see what changes on the screen. I like to spend time with the people in my company. I don't go out to like networking events. Which I should, but I don't. I think also because in my industry, the product people are generally all like busy with themselves.
Okay.
Right. But after the acquisition, then I realized that actually there are a few of them that will come out, maybe play poker, maybe just like hang out, talk about like product stuff. But yeah, we should have done that more, but we didn't. Yeah, because I think back then we didn't see the direct conversion like help to the company. Yeah, but we do have mentors lah. Yeah, not really like fixed mentors. Yeah.
Maybe on that you can share who are some of the mentors in your business.
No. Our mentors is Payan. So remember I was sharing with you guys we wanted to get investment. So we're listing down what are the reasons why we want to get investments, right? One is let's put it real, right? I don't want to risk my own money anymore, right? Let me take a little bit more money, right?
Yes.
Like, so that was real. Nobody will admit that. Right? Nobody will admit that, I don't want to use my own money, right? So that was one. Second is we wanted like mentorship, right? Assumingly people who knows better can tell us whether what we are doing is right or wrong. Right? Because every time we knock walls pump, then we go, then we try another wall pump, then third wall, actually go through. Maybe somebody already can tell me that the third wall is correct, right? So we wanted mentors. And then we realized that I can actually pay for mentors and it's not that expensive. Like, so have you heard of Mentor Pass?
Yes.
Yeah. So we use Mentor Pass, right? And a session is like $100,
Right.
But it's with people at the top of their game. I'm pretty sure they are better than any guy in a VC firm that like may or may not have built something before, right? Like the guy is literally still building and can teach me like
You should look for Matthew. Matthew done it for you for free.
It is true. But back then I small leg. Matthew don't want meet me. Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm in this podcast. Horrible people.
Yeah. So that was
And they're not locals now. They're not local mentors. They're all over the place.
Yeah. Because a lot of the things that we learned is actually from the US.
Okay.
Like the way that the industry is a lot more developed there. There's a lot of unicorn companies there. So there are a lot more case studies on how do you actually do well in certain verticals of a product business.
So do you choose a mentor or you call and then the mentor say, hey, I'm available and I come and find?
I choose.
Oh, you choose.
Yeah. So you
and so
research
as long as they are available for booking,
they
will get into how long conversation?
An hour. But you can keep booking. Yeah. But and I also think when you need to pay to be there,
it's true.
You come prepared.
Yeah.
You are very direct in like the type of questions that you want. Yeah. There is lesser of the talking cock and all those things.
Yes,
like you can
so-called
talk
rapport building.
Yeah.
It's more of tell me what should I do this.
Yes. This is what I did.
Okay.
Any pitfalls, right? That is essentially what you want, really. What?
Yes.
Tell me something.
You want direct advice.
Yeah. Because a lot of times you need when you're running a business, it's either what we call medicine or supplement, right?
Yep.
Medicine you need like now.
Yeah.
Then the supplement is more like long term. Yeah. So you want to make sure you are taking the right
move and
right
all.
stuff. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm just Googling this, right? And it looks decent. Maybe you can share a little bit of how does it work for those who are looking for mentors.
Oh,
yeah.
Just head to the platform, choose
book.
It's quite easy. But more importantly is to research on the mentors. And because a lot of the things that we learned is from the US, these people are it's on my like podcast list. It's on my Twitter list.
Okay.
Like now I actually get to meet them in person directly to understand like what they are saying and what I'm doing. Where's the gap? Where's the pitfalls? Yeah.
Do you think there's a gap in this in the Asia or even Singapore culture?
Gap in terms of
mentorship? Because in terms of it, you still mentioned it's actually came from the US, right? And for you to go all the way to US and not find it in Singapore or Southeast Asia, right? Is there a gap or just because of?
There is I feel there is a big taboo when it comes to paid mentorship. Like people feel that it's a scam. People that cannot do they teach. And so I think with that Asian culture of what they call 爱面子, right? You don't want to put yourself out there to say that you are the best.
Reputation, right?
Yeah, like you know your stuff, right? So I think in the US, people had actually built stuff. I'm actually very happy to share. And I subscribe to the whole Western philosophy. Right? I'm very happy to pay because
Pay it forward, right?
yeah, because like you I think in your careers you probably know there are one or two advice that like that change your trajectory. You might not get it in your first, second, or third one, but maybe the fourth one, right? That one switch can change everything. It's like my competitor focusing on Facebook as to me. If that didn't happen, I wouldn't be where I am today.
Right.
Right? Like, so that one advice could like dramatically change everything. And who to get it from than the best of the best. And I'll be willing to pay for sure.
Wow, thank you very much, man, for joining Mission, man. Because that's what Mission and Vision to do.
Right.
Yeah, so maybe one of these days, right, when we have a mentorship program, I'll invite you to be a mentorship program.
I better be paid.
We'll
be paid.
You all can pay him.
And with that, right, let's come back with a special segment for Joshua. Hi, welcome back, everybody. This is the Enzo segment. But I almost said statement again, right? I had an NG before this. So, in front of me, Joshua, right, how this works is that we actually developed this card on the aspect as because we did many networkings, we have many interviews with mentors like yourself, or in fact, successful people like yourself, and we realized that a lot of the younger ones, they actually do not know what are the questions to ask.
Okay.
So in fact, this card we have developed into 4 acts, and today we're going to use act 4 on you.
Nice.
Right, so what we're going to do, right, is I'm going to lay out 13 cards in front of you, right, and I would like you to pick 2.
Nice.
And with that, right, we will ask a question in the cards, shall we?
Okay.
All right.
Is Matthew going to pick?
No, it's all you. Today is all you.
I want to learn about Matthew's success.
So there you go, come, let's pick 2 cards.
Okay.
Feel like some casino dealer here, you know. This one?
Okay.
This one, alright.
Okay, they can.
Okay, let's open up the 2 cards. So the first card we have here, let's ask the first question here. Right, so how do you adapt to changes in your industry or market?
Right.
And the second would be, how did you handle any setbacks or challenges that occurred after your major achievement?
Okay. Let's do the first one. How did you adapt to changes in your industry or market? So my general belief is that we are, I like to put on a hat of like I'm the dumbest person in the room, right? So the thing that has worked very well for me is always test. As you can hear from the start of my story, it's always about throwing shit on the wall and testing it, right? And even small projects as we grew, a lot of times we test out different ideas, and if it shows signs of promise, and then we double down. So whenever things change, it is re-evaluating everything that we have done before to see whether or not the thesis is still correct. And I think for smaller companies, a lot easier. So how we do this is, one, you need to spend, the founders or the leaders of the company needs to take time out to work on the business rather than within the business. And it's very cliche, right? A lot of people say you need to work on the business. But on top of that, what we did is we segment out a time where you actually work on the business. So in that point in time, we don't discuss this customer said this.
Right.
We discuss, okay, overall as a business, how we are performing, where the market is at, what are the general consensus of our customers, right? And each one of them, we have metrics to kind of track. And then we think about what are the projects that we want to test and what do we want to double down. And if you put this as a cadence on a weekly basis, you are constantly moving and changing and adapting to wherever the market is going to shift to. Right? So I think that is something that a lot of people should be doing a lot more often. So what a book that I'll recommend is this book called Traction. Traction has taught us a lot about what are the key things we should be discussing in that 1.5 hours that all leaders, which if you put a price on every leader's per hour basis is a lot, to sit down together and not waste time, what are the things that we want to focus on to discuss, right? And that time is where we work on the business.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I think we kind of adapt.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Nice.
Second question.
Yes. How do you handle any setbacks or challenges that occurred after your major achievement? I think right now I'm in a phase where I got over the initial hype of having money and owning things, right? And I don't know if people agree with this, but my belief is that buying stuff makes you happy for that moment when you buy. Like most of the time, let's say you buy a house, right? You go through the whole reno, you buy a penthouse overlooking the sea view, it looks freaking great. After 3 months, the sea view is
You're bored of it, you're done.
It's like that,
Yeah.
right? So what are the things that are actually important? It's the same things that were important when you were poor. You just thought that money could kind of solve it, right?
Yeah.
And it's cliche, but now that I have gone through it, I can be on the other side to say that like it is really true. And I'm constantly trying to find what makes me
Poor again.
not.
I can help you. Don't worry.
I think what makes me feel purposeful.
Right.
Yeah. So what I'm currently doing 2 things a lot more religiously. One is journaling.
Okay.
So with AI, I think we spoke a lot about AI. I do record a lot of my thoughts to kind of see where I am daily. And I may not have some big realization every single day, but certain feelings that day-to-day things are happening, it then can form your beliefs, will then form your actions and kind of what you work on. Second is I'm trying to adjust my calendar to what I feel that it will give me that sense of purpose again. So if I have a certain thesis that, okay, this seems like it is making me happy, let me try and do a little bit more of this. And when the obstacles and challenges come, you know, the valley of like despair, right, comes, and I'm still excited, then I'm like, yeah, that's the thing I want to do. And the third thing I think a lot of people should do a little bit more is writing.
Yes.
So I'm trying to write a little bit more because I think good thinking comes from good writing. Good writing can only come out if you have good thinking. Right. So you know, when I told people that I attended like a writing course, a lot of people is like, now got ChatGPT, why do you need it? But I think the ability to write out what you actually think in a clear way forces you to kind of make sure that your thoughts are coherent, and that can help you to build a lot more theses in the future on what you actually want to do. Yeah. So if I were to think about it, writing is something that I really want to be better at. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That's
Profound.
awesome.
Yeah.
Very, very profound. Lots to digest, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
And that's how you use the Enzo card.
Okay, so welcome back. So Joshua, what's one thing that you would do differently if you could rewind time back to when you were 20 years old again?
Right. Buy Bitcoin.
Me too. Yeah.
Today highest, right?
I would, in my 20s, I'll probably be a little bit more intentional about enjoying what a 20 should feel. I think in the 20s is where things start to get a bit complicated, where you feel that you need to be an adult and start to earn money and kind of do the adult things, right? Try and build something of your own. But if you guys are interested, can read this book called Die with Zero.
Die with Zero.
Die with Zero.
Okay.
It's a very powerful book in terms of how you allocate different resources, different core resources at different different stage of your life. So assumingly when you are younger, you have, this is a summary, but when you're younger, you have health, you have time, but you have no money. Right? When you are in your 30s to 40s, you have health, time, and money. And when you're older, you have no health, no time, but you got money. Right? If you think about things like this, what are the type of activities that you would do at that point in time? Might change. I think in my 20s, I rejected a lot of moments, a lot of core memories that can potentially bring long-lasting moments that I can remember. So in my 20s, I'll probably prioritize those a little bit more and be okay with not building something so that it occupies everything in my life. Enjoy that few little moments that you actually had the opportunity to, right? So if you think about there's this article on what they call the tail end, which long story short is, think about your best friend right now, or your parents, right? From actually now that you are at this age, right? And every time you meet them, right, you are probably at the last 10% of actually meeting them. Right? Because at the start, you meet them almost every day, you have meals every day, and now everybody's busy and you actually don't get to meet them that often.
Yeah.
And I think back, actually, there are a few friends that the last time that I met them, right, was really the last time already. We probably won't cross paths anymore. It's probably very difficult for us to realign again. And if I knew that now, the last time that I met, I would probably have been a lot more intentional in the time that I spent there. So that is what I think in my 20s that I'll do a little bit more. Yeah.
Nice. Spending a lot more quality time, right?
Yeah.
It's the, I think it's the intentionality. Even now, like now I'm in like, okay, something that is like freaking stupid, but like I'm all over crypto now, right?
Yeah.
It takes up so much head space to constantly be like trading and all those things, right? And what actually loses out is when I'm with my friends. When my friends,
You worry about...
yeah, I used to talk to them about life and how we are growing and all those things, but now we just keep checking the charts.
Yeah.
Right? Like, yeah, even with your wife, right? Like when you are spending time with them, are you really there?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just,
Are you in the moment with them?
Yeah. And those moments, firstly, maybe your last.
Yep.
Secondly, if you, it might bring down the relationship, although like you are spending time, right? So it's probably a good reevaluation of how you are actually spending time with people. Yeah.
So in that reflective mode, what do you think are the 3 qualities that you believe every entrepreneur should possess?
Firstly, probably work on yourself. Both in terms of your skills and mindset. Skills are something that people is very difficult to take away, right? And the belief is that you know what skills you need to work on, right? Like it is not rocket science, right? You firstly have the belief that anything that you put your mind to, you can be better at it. Right? You may not be the best of the best, but your belief is that you will be better at it. So work on your skills, work on your mindset. That's probably one. Second, be intentional with the way you spend your time. If you really go and look at how you spend your time across a day, week, and month, you will realize how much time you are wasting or how much time you are investing. And there's nothing wrong with investing with wasting time, whatever waste time looks like to you. But more importantly, is that intentional?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you can go home and watch Netflix, right? Netflix is great and I freaking love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of entertainment.
Yeah. But how much time are you actually spending on Netflix, right? Versus what you say you wanna do / build that will bring you to wherever place you wanna be, right? So be a little bit more intentional with your time,
Right.
and lastly, I think that there are a lot of people that wants to start a business that are in a corporate job, right? Or have the fear of starting something, right?
Yeah.
To me, there are firstly, you don't need to jump onto the bandwagon of like starting yourself, quit your job, and then like just depend on it, because there's so much uncertainty to whether a business can actually do well or not. So have the mentality that you are very open to invest time to test these things out without compromising on your main source of income lah. Yeah, like when people tell me they wanna start a business but they are working 9 to 5, right? Or 9 to 6. Then I said, after that, can you spend 1 hour on it? They say, no, I'm very tired. Oh, I got this, I got that. But then
A lot of excuses and all.
it's not really excuse. I believe that they are tired. But I don't think they know they'll be more tired if they are running this like business thing, like full time with no with no certainty of what's gonna happen. Right. So it is also a good test to whether or not you want this life lah. Like this life is not, when I was building it's not fun one. Like you deprioritize a lot of other things in your life, consciously or subconsciously, right? I didn't meet my friends, like my close friends, for a couple of years. I didn't, with my family, it's like I reach home late, wake up early, and I go. Those are years that I'll never get back. I'll never get back. And things turned out well, or things didn't. Just double L. Right? So you must really enjoy that building process. And if you don't, that's fine.
Right.
Like don't think that like it is such a big glamorous thing or you got acquired and all these things. Like what I said, the things that I look forward to now is the same as when I was poor. Like, I still want that. Yeah. So I'll probably kind of see whether those are testing out those ideas to see whether or not like is it really something that I love.
Right.
Yeah.
Great advice there, right? And in fact, Joshua, for every single guest that come to my show here, right, I'll ask them if there's one word they'll give to all and young entrepreneurs out there and inspire them.
Right.
What would that one word be and why?
2 words here.
Sure, for you, I'll do 2 words, no problem, man.
Don't give us Joshua Chuan, right? Joshua Chan.
Don't compare.
Don't compare.
Don't
Why?
compare. I think I'm saying this as a reminder to myself that when I was building ErgoTune, right, people compared me with Secret Lab. It's a bar that like is very difficult to reach, right? But after I get acquired, people say like, why you not next time you will stay GCB, right? Then who am I comparing with? Like and that robs me of everything that I have built and the happiness that I have, because there is a higher mountain to climb. Whether even if the mountain is something that I want to climb or not, I'm not sure. Right? So when you are constantly comparing to people in a different, they came from a different environment, doing a different business, and you're comparing like just financials, which is a damn lame matrix to me. You are robbing yourself of the enjoyment of actually being in a moment, actually building. The fun of like solving problems, small problems, big problems, building a team, like all those, they are fun for me. All those things are being robbed away when like, you got acquired 15 mil. The Secret Lab founder 300 mil bought GCB. They're like, is it, I'm not good enough? Right. So as difficult as it is, don't compare.
lah.
Yeah, just focus on yourself. Just build. Then find that small little enjoyments within yourself. Look at them for inspiration, not as a form of like robbing away what you have already built. Yeah, you don't know what stage they have been in. You don't know what life they have been through, what support they have, like in the same circumstance, like how would they be different? Yeah.
Yeah. So with that said, Joshua, maybe I will turn your attention to this camera here, right? Any last words you have for all our audience out there? Yeah, before we end the show.
Be more intentional with the things that you do in this lifetime and work on things that will actually make you happy.
Wow, what an incredible ride through Joshua's journey. From humble beginnings to ergonomic excellence, his story is proof that resilience, creativity, and a dash of daring can lead to amazing success.
So if Joshua's insights don't get you fired up to chase your dreams, honestly, we don't know what will. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, dream big, stay curious, and maybe your next big idea could be the one that changed the world. Until next time, keep hustling.
Hi guys, thank you for listening. If you like what you have just heard, follow us for more content like this.